You're gonna, and I'll write one. I'll write an anime. You'll do
Yeah,
the
got
intro
it.
music.
So I
Sal
can't
can't comprehend.
comprehend.
That's what we'll call it. Sal.
It's a hit.
It's a hit.
Could be
It's
a
a hit.
hit.
I'm gonna start. Let's workshop this.
All
I got
right,
the title
titles there. We
already.
just
How
can
hard?
get the music.
How
Good.
how hard
All
could
we
it
got to do
be?
is make sure we're at school. We're good.
Okay, so what's it about? It really, I have no idea.
uh,
Yeah, it gotta be gotta be at school. Yeah,
oh, man.
that's all it is.
Uh,
That's all you need.
all right. So next one, Nisekoi. All right. And
Nisekoi.
3, 2, 1. Hey guys, thank you for joining Anime Me Podcast. It's me, Joangel, with my co-host Sal, and we are here to continue to bring some good anime.
Yes, sir.
And our last one was so good with the rom-com slice live. We decided to keep going with this, Sal, man.
Oh man, I feel you get like sliding these slice of lives on me. We did this the first one couple, and I had new to anime, and I was just like, what is this? This is not what anime is supposed to be. Where's all the fireballs?
Where's the bad guy? How come
And
nobody's
then
grown
now
into a monster?
you're throwing these in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm loving them, and I'm like, oh wait, am I a weeb now? Did I reach weeb status? No, because I get every name wrong still. Whatever. Everybody's yelling at me for not knowing
you're still on the
anything,
first level.
so it's cool. I'm still level 1. I'm still trying to power it up over here, guys. Come on, I'm trying to be the pirate king. It takes time. Dude, Luffy's been at it for 1,000 episodes. He still hasn't done
Goku's
it
still
yet.
powering up
So
right now, man. It's been like 5 years.
yeah, that boy, he's still on Snake Way. I'm a little past that.
All right, man. Well, today we are going to talk about Nisekoi.
Nisekoi. Okay, you got to give me some of these pronunciations, Joe Angel. What is his name? Our protagonist, Raku?
Yeah. Raku Ichijo.
Raku. Okay. And then
Onodera? Yeah. Onodera
Onodera?
Kisaki.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then there was one other person.
Kisaki.
Oh, Kirisaki. Yeah, Kirisaki. Okay. Let me give us a real quick synopsis. I'm gonna have to go off the cuff here though, because usually I just read the little like synopsis before the show. Dude, have you looked at the synopsis for this first episode or the show in general? It's probably a chapter book. It's too much. I started it.
Can I get the cliff notes on this synopsis?
This is giving every. I know. I was like, I guess I just watched the whole anime. I read the manga and that's it. It's right here. So let me see here. I'm gonna try to be as short as possible. So Raku is the son of a Yakuza boss, right? Okay. Okay. We're going slowly at this, and he just wants to be like, he just wants to go to school. He doesn't want to be part of the family, and he is okay. So he just wants to go to a university and get a regular old job. He doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want
Yakuza,
to take over the family business,
and he doesn't want to take over the family business. And he runs into a girl who he gets wrapped up with, and come to find out, he is now being dragged in and forced to be in a relationship with a new kid in school who he doesn't like. Pretty-ish. I guess that's about it. Kind of. There's a love triangle thing going on. It's just we'll workshop the synopsis.
We'll work it out there.
Maybe I could get AI. I'm a copy whatever that synopsis is. And put it in Chat GPT and tell me, give this back to me in 3 sentences. Get some AI on this bad boy.
I think so, yeah. So he's the son of a Yakuza clan who wants to be a civil servant, wants to be a regular Joe, gets in, but there's a rival gang that comes up, and in order to stop the fighting between them and causing an all-out war, he has to him because his dad and the leader of the other gang, which is called the Beehive, are old friends or old
Mm-hmm.
acquaintances. And the other guy has a daughter who's in school in the same grade. And in order to stop the war, they tell them they have to be in the fake relationship. Kind of like little
Yeah.
hints of Romeo and
Put like
Juliet
a
type stuff,
political.
Montagues and Claremonts type stuff.
Okay, okay, yeah, hey, I like that. Yeah, and now that you say that, I can see it. I realize it. This is slice of
A
life.
little bit, yeah, kind of
Yes,
slice of life ish,
this
kind of.
is.
So the genre would be like
Yeah,
rom
what would
com,
you?
of course, my favorite genre, of course. A little bit of
Hmm.
slice of life
Hmm.
and
Of course,
a little
well, of
bit
course.
of what you would call harem. That's gonna be a
Harem,
new genre for you. That's
hair.
basically so it's a shonen. It's
Wait,
demo
don't
shonen
wait. Don't
graphic.
tell me.
So
Don't tell me harem. It's there's lots of wives involved. There's a king, and there's I don't
somewhat,
know.
yeah, you're getting the
I'm trying
idea
to
of
think
it.
of what a
It's
harem is.
like he's got a lot of girls going after him.
Okay. Oh, snap. Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. I accidentally stumbled upon it with my just using my context clues and knowing what a harem is actually. Yeah, okay, because I wrote
Yeah,
that down. There's a love triangle going on here. He's a regular old kid who likes this other girl, but and is annoyed by this new girl, and then but he's promised to the new girl he doesn't like, but is in love with this
yeah.
other girl. So
There's like so. This is a
interesting. Okay.
love triangle for sure.
This is legit
This
a
is almost
love
a
triangle.
novella,
Man,
man.
hey, by the way, start yeah, yeah, I'm watching my stories. I'm sitting down. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm eating
So
some sort of cookie. I'm watching my
I'm about to get my
stories.
abuelita on this show, man, so we can watch it.
This is this is coming on this is coming on before
Oh yeah,
the days of our lives and somewhere in between, oh man. So when it first starts though, I wrote down these are the most ominous credits that I'm like,
oh
what is
yeah.
about
Dude,
to
I
happen in
love
this
that
show?
intro, man. It's
It
just like
looks
they did the whole like kind of eight
it's
millimeter
wild.
film type thing, and it's just like what?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the little flickering, and I was kind of like, it's a little almost
yeah.
like spooky season. I was like, I thought we were past spooky season. What's going on here? Why is this kind of freaky? And then the show actually starts, and they're cooking. He's cooking. Raku's he's cooking for
Yeah.
the whole Yakuza clan, and I'm like, oh, bro, this better be like one of them cooking shows that I've heard of, like an anime cooking
Anime
show. Is
cooking.
this kid gonna be a chef?
Is Gordon Ramsay about to pop in?
Yeah, I want to see some. I want to see some Uncle Roger in there. Hey, you know who Uncle
Yeah,
Roger is? You
yeah.
need Uncle Roger's. I want him judging somebody. This guy's chicken fried rice. Oh, dude, it is. But come to find out, he's just like it's just a regular kid. He's not a gangster like the rest of these guys
Yeah.
are like cold-blooded killers, and he's just like a regular kid, and he's like embarrassed by his Yakuza clan dropping him off to school.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
oh, you
That's
guys,
literally they all
oh.
rolled up to drop him off, and he's just like, "You guys are embarrassing me."
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's a regular thing. Hey, by full
go
disclosure,
for it.
there doesn't seem to be, maybe it's on Crunchyroll or whatever, but there doesn't seem to be a dubbed version of this. Help me out, Joe Angel.
We'll get into that a
I
bit
had
later.
a hard time. Oh my gosh, I'm writing down stuff and I'm like reading, writing, reading, writing, looking, reading, eating Takis, eating, writing, looking Takis, and I'm like, oh, dude, I can't pay attention to this. Like, I hope I got everything. I have very sparse notes. I like the show. I'm figuring out what's going on, and I'm also trying to keep track of like what is happening a little bit. Like, I got the general
Yeah,
idea. He's walking to school. He's got
yeah,
a locket. You're gonna have to fill me in on what happens with this locket and the key
yeah.
thing because I missed something. I think I dropped my remote. I was cleaning my hands full of my guacamole Takis, and I got lost
Yeah,
in the
he gets to
sauce
school
somewhere.
and he's just like, he's in a daze. He's just like, I just want to be normal. He's like, I just want to have a normal
Hmm.
life and all this stuff. And he's all like, I just want to finish school, go to a good school, graduate. He's even talking about like, I want to get a girlfriend too, even though I never had a girlfriend and stuff. And he like
Yeah.
brings out the locket and he's like, well, I do have this promise I made, but I don't know. I can't remember who it is, who I made, who the girl is. Can't remember her face, her name. And then yeah,
Yeah, because they flash back and they see her like you only
yeah.
see the back of her, and that was
Yeah, it's
it.
like super
Okay.
silhouette on her. Like you don't really get her facial features or anything like that. And then we get an
Hmm.
intro into our transfer student Chitogi, who's like running. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kitasaki.
And she's running.
Hmm.
She's like, it's the whole like, I'm late for school. She's got toast in her mouth. She's running,
Yeah.
and then she's just bust
Uh-huh.
out this Olympic gymnast move where she like jumps over the
Dude,
school fence and proceeds to do a
dude, she's a
flying knee.
beast.
She's taught Mysterio. She taught Rey Mysterio how to do his flying kicks. Man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she taught that fool everything he
Dude.
knows.
Yeah, she tiger kneed the guy into his face. I was like, oh snap, she's gonna be in like she doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
Like she's a new student. She comes in and she's like giving it to this dude, like, hey, get out of my face. She says I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But he gets drop kicked and he loses his locket. He's
yeah.
like he's bleeding from his nose. I'm like, hey, he just had some
Yeah,
gangsters
like,
just
did you not
drop
see
him
the
off.
gangsters outside? Like,
Yeah, you're in trouble, okay? You're in trouble.
yeah, then we go into like he walks into class, and then we see like our other side characters. We see the guy named Shu in the
Mm-hmm.
glasses. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then you see
Mm-hmm.
Onodera, who turns around and is just like, "What happened to you?" Because he's just bleeding out of his nose, and he's just like, "Man, this crazy girl just like." Need me. He's like, oh, it's nothing, nothing. Try to play it off, trying to be cool because we get the feeling that he
Uh-huh.
likes Onodera.
Well, yeah, especially because she kind of comes in with a band-aid and puts it on his face and kind of treats him a little bit. And he's like,
Like, oh, snap.
"Ooh,
Yeah.
I like how close she is to
he's
me. Oh
feeling he's feeling
snap!"
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's
And then
feeling
we get
himself.
class
Hmm. Hmm.
started, and then this teacher introduces a transfer student, and we get the most hilarious interaction ever.
Yeah, because she comes in and they see each other and like they're singled out. They single each other out, and the whole class is just like staring at them. And they're like, "You're the girl, and you're the guy, and you
He's like,
like."
you,
Like smashed my face in. They go back and forth, like just yelling at each other, like yelling yo mama jokes
yeah.
almost, you know?
Oh man, I thought Nick Cannon was about to
It's
bust
funny
out, man.
that the way, yeah, Wilmer Valderrama, your mama's jokes on
Oh,
MTV. Pull them up. But they're like throwing glitter at each other, like that little animation style of them, like kind of giving it to each other
yeah,
back and forth, yelling at each other, and they're like the glitter flying back and forth. I thought that was so funny, dude. I was like, what is this like choice to do? Like little sparkle, like burns. They're burning each other. Oh,
yeah.
dude,
And then
hilarious.
they sit next to each other, and then they're just like still arguing. And he like
Mm-hmm.
basically calling around. He's like, "Hey, I lost my locket. It's your fault. You had to help me look for it." Or no, so this is where we find out
Mm-hmm.
he lost the locket because he's just like, oh, I gotta sit next to this freaking crazy girl. He's like, well, he
Yeah.
like goes to fill the locket, which I think is just like a comfort thing for him. And he realizes it's gone, and he's just like starts
Mm-hmm.
freaking out. He's like, wait, what happened to him? He's like, oh wait, it's because you need me. That's when I lost it. And then like he calls her out, like, "Hey, you need to
Yeah.
help me look for it." And she's just like, "What? No way." She's like, "I already told you I was sorry." Trying to do this whole thing. And then the teacher is all like, "Hey, Raku, you're assigned to like show her around, and both of y'all, it's like I'm gonna make her your partner to help take care of the school animals and plants and stuff."
Okay. So this is where I was probably like licking my
Talking
fingers and I
dust.
wasn't paying attention. I'm not writing things up. Cause yeah, I got talkie dust everywhere. I got to clean this bad boy up, and I'm watching. I was like, oh wait, now they're like doing stuff around the school. I thought we were gonna go look for this locket. Yeah, that makes more sense. So now they're forced to kind of be together. So it's that classic like you're the worst. No, you're the worst. And then now they're like stuck with each other a little bit, and they have to like yeah they this goes on even more because then they have to go look for he finally convinces her,
Yeah.
you need to go look, help me go look for this locket, and they go out to the field next to the fence and they're looking for this locket in the grass together, and they do it like it looks like they've done it like they're doing it in a
Yeah,
couple
it's like over a
days, like
course of a
they
couple
search
of
for a
days, like looking
while.
for it. And like all like comes down to the point where she's just like, why do you even care? It's just a stupid locket. She's like, that's so unmanly to like be this concerned over a
Yeah.
stupid locket. Because
Yeah.
he tells her, he's like, I made a promise to this girl, and she basically uses that against him. She's like, she probably forgot about you anyway, so why does it even matter? And then he's just like,
Oh.
that hits a nerve with him because he just like calls her out.
It
He's just
really
like, well, you
does.
can just
He goes
go.
off on her. Yeah, dude. He's even like
Yeah.
ashamed of it too. He's like, I can't believe I just yelled at this girl. But he also is like kind of proud a little bit. He's like, I stood up for myself, because he's he's a softie. I think she does see that he is a softie, even though he's part of the. I mean, he's the son of a
Yeah.
yakuza boss and part of the clan. I don't think he is not. He's not
Nah,
hardcore like
he's
that.
like he's a romantic. You can tell he's like, he's got that sense of like love.
Yeah. I mean, he has this like there's a walking scene and he's with Onodera like just having this deep conversation or just like they kind of visualize. I love the way they do this where they're just kind of walking and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scene changes. They're walking through a park, walking through a town, walking through school, walking through, a hallway, and they're just kind of having this like they do that. It's like almost like a classic rom-com
uh,
what's that
heart
word?
to heart montage. Yeah,
Montage.
montage.
No, like a montage. Like it where they're showing like
Yeah,
a passing of time and them just kind of like getting along. Because that's like a classic like dating thing where you just kind of have like long walks
yeah,
and conversations with somebody and it's like what'd you talk about? And like it was just, I
yeah,
don't know, we just kind of like just kept talking. Like that's they kind of like visualize that in a way to kind of like really establish like he likes this girl and I think she
yeah.
likes
Because
him
you see
back.
like hints and
Onodera and
stuff of
Raku have a
like
thing.
just the way she was like so
Hmm.
concerned and like how she was like, because when she goes, when they
Oh
have
yeah.
that
Yeah,
confrontation,
cause
that final confrontation, him, Chitogi, she's like
hmm
running to like, oh, I'm gonna go, we got done with the class rep stuff early. I can go help out Raku look for this
hmm
locket, and that's when she runs up on them arguing and him yelling at her and stuff like that. And then when they're walking together too,
Well,
yeah,
even before then, like he's in the classroom and he's like yelling at Kitasaki, like, "Hey, you need to help me look for my
yeah,
locket. It's your problem." And then Onodeta comes in and says, like, "Hey, I'll
yeah,
help you look for your locket." Before he
yeah,
didn't even have to ask her. She was just gonna go. She just offered her help, like, and he's just like, "Man, why can't Kitasaki be
yeah,
like this girl?
yeah,
This girl that I like. This girl will never be
yeah. This
like
girl's it
this
right
girl that
here,
I
and this
like.
other one's
She's
not.
like,
She's
she
down.
is down. She's down. She's like, what I'm saying, like." Don't even have to say anything. And she's like, "Hey, I'm
I
here
got
for
your
you,
baby boy.
baby."
Let's go. It's
Yeah.
like
And so yeah, she comes in on it.
oh man, I can't remember. It's like that it's that Kevin Hart movie where he's like the girl's holding him up and they're both pointing at somebody. I can't remember what that movie was, but I remember
Oh,
that scene.
yeah. Yeah, where he's just
Like she's holding him like
she
a
just picks him up and walks
baby.
away. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Onodeta would do that for him, man. She's down. Kitasaki's a little rough around the edges. By the way, it's kind of funny that they like make it a point to where she's like half
Yeah.
American. Like I don't know if that like what that is or if that's just like a kind of a funny thing. Because I don't know if you know this, but like the way Americans are kind of viewed from other like cultures,
Yeah.
we're kind of loud. We're
Loud,
like loud, we're boisterous, we're
obnoxious.
kind of rude, yeah, obnoxious a little bit. And I'm wondering if they're kind of playing with
Well,
that a
even
little
like
bit
even so too,
here,
like even during that
making her
first
half
scene where they're
American.
arguing and pointing at each other, he calls her a monkey girl.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. Yeah, I forgot about that. And I think he even makes
Yeah.
reference to that again, like later on. Oh, but then so like he's out there looking for after they have this confrontation, she's like, all right, I'm out of here, and she takes off, and oh, I think it
Yeah,
starts
yeah. There's
raining
like a
on them, like
rain,
pretty
and I
hardcore.
love that
No, just
shot.
kind of
Just the way they have the rain on their face, because it's
yeah,
like almost like they're both crying. Like she's heard about what he said, he's heard about
yeah,
what she said, and it's just like, oh man, this is like
uh-huh.
them crying without crying.
Yeah, yeah, it was a bit of like there was a silence that kind of fell across all three of them, kind of standing in there. Like there was finally like a visual like
Yeah,
triangle here. You go, oh, there's something happening, and but nothing being said, and this is an emotional moment here. And then he goes back out there the next day or something like that, looking, and he's just having a conversation with I think Onodeta's going
yeah,
to help him find it, or either find that locket, or they weren't even I don't even know if they were out in the field, but out of nowhere she like throws a fireball.
yeah,
Kiyosaki throws like a full on Street Fighter Ryu fireball.
yeah. Get this
Right,
girl on
and
an MLB team. She
it
needs to be
comes out
Major
of
League
nowhere.
Baseball. Man.
Yeah,
Oh
she's the next
yeah,
Otani, dude. She is throwing heat. Knocks him down, and he's all like, "What the heck?" And he looks over, and it's his locket. She found the locket for him. She like
yeah.
kept her promise. She went out there by herself and looked for it and
Yeah,
found it herself
yeah.
and
Because
got
even
it to him. So
Onodeta, she
she,
was like telling him, was like, oh, well, she was like, because when he was out there by himself, and Onodeta runs up, and she's just like, oh, hey, Chitoga's looking for you, and then that's when we go to the scene, find the
hmm
locket. And Nadetta's telling him, was like, yeah, she was out here after you left, still looking, but just didn't want you to see her, like looking
Hmm.
for it. And she even like wrote like a little note
And so he
too
kind of
on the locket, and
sees,
he's looking at it. And it's
yeah,
half Japanese, but then it's half
and English, by the way.
English. And he's all like, and that's where we find out
Hmm.
too that she's half American because she wrote in English. And he's looking at it, he's like, I can't read what this says, but I know she's mocking me. It's,
And it is. She's like, "Here you go,
yeah,
you big baby," like or something like that. But you know what? He even acknowledges it too. Then he's like, "Well, she maybe has
yeah.
some redeeming
She's not
qualities.
all
She's
the way
not,
bad. Yeah,
completely, But then later on, we find
yeah,
out he goes home. He has his locket. Okay, so this is the part where I'm kind of. Oh, before we get to the very end, he has his locket, puts it on.
yeah,
He's looking at the thing, and then he and Onodera have this kind of like last little couple words, like, "Hey, yeah,
yeah.
like I'm glad I got this." And then he walks away. I'll see you later. And then I think she
Yeah,
has the
so
key,
he's like, he
right?
has the locket and he's like talking to her. Because he's even saying to himself, he's like, you know what? He's like, maybe I should just give up on this promise to this girl this promise to
Hmm.
this girl I made because I don't even remember
Secret
her.
girl.
That is all like, no, don't do that. Like, she's like,
Hmm.
kind of reassuring him, like, hey, maybe she's, whoever that girl is still has it, so maybe she's still holding on to that promise too. So she's telling him he should keep it. He's like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. And he walks away, and then we see her holding the key and symbolizing like, hey, this is
Yeah,
she the girl he made this promise to, who he can't remember to you. And it's like
yeah,
she
because
can't
she
bring
says
herself
something
to
like,
like
"Should I
outright
tell him?"
say it.
Yeah.
So she's just like in the background in the shadows, like,
Hmm.
I still don't have the courage to tell him, hey, it's me that we made the promise.
Which, by the way, I'm like, how does he not? How does this even come
Yeah,
about? I'm
this
trying
dude
to
had to like,
think
did he get hit in the
what would
head
happen.
or
Like,
did he get some sort of amnesia?
yeah,
That he
yeah,
did
he's got
not
some
remember
sort of
this. Like he remembered this one
amnesia,
thing and then
or
he
like
just not anything else.
yeah, right. Like he's like, I made this promise to some girl. I have no idea. Like, how do you make a promise? Yeah, I love this girl forever. I said I'd love her forever,
I don't know
or
who she is.
but how? But I don't know who she is. She gave me this locket. It's pure gold. It's beautiful. She's got to be the one if she's gonna give me such a nice gift. Man, but going earlier, something kind of fed into this earlier. Like he's out there looking for the locket down the ground, and Kitasaki kind of walks by and wafts her hair to his nose almost, and he's like, that smell is
Yeah,
kind of
like there's a
interesting.
certain
Like
smell he remembers.
this
Like,
is
and it almost, yeah, because it kind of like seems like too when they do that, it like plays into the fact like, is she the girl? Yeah,
she's the one with the key. Yeah, yeah, that's what it kind of felt like to me. I was like, wait a second, like he doesn't know that this is the love of his life. What's the deal? But then we fast forward later on. It's Onodera who has the key. So then I'm like, who is it really that
yeah,
is the love of his life? And does he doesn't know? And then he gets home. And his dad meets him, and he's like, he had told him earlier, "Hey, we need to have a serious conversation. Just let you know."
serious talk.
And lo and behold, he's like, he lays it out. Like, there's another gang in town. We need to do something about this. And you know what? This is like a real thing that
Oh yeah,
happens. I guess maybe I don't know if it still happens. I mean, because there's still arranged marriages and whatnot,
yeah.
And I wonder if it's like this is based off something for real.
I
Like
mean,
even like
it
even
could
now,
happen,
but he's like,
because there's
I'm
real
thinking
yakuza
so.
and there's real other gangs, and sometimes in order to
Yeah. And so
stop
he's like,
people from dying, they kind of do stuff like this.
that's what he does. He says like, "Hey, I got this girl. You're gonna have to date her." I don't know if he's like proposing they just date or if they're gonna like actually be like you two are gonna be
Well,
together forever.
he
This is
gives
like a
him like
marriage
because
bond.
his dad gives him like, hey, you're gonna date the daughter of this other boss for 3 years, which is basically like their whole high school career. He's
Yeah,
like, just until
yeah.
that time, and then after that, she'll probably leave, and the game will probably leave, so we won't have to worry about it. But until
Hmm.
then, this is what we have to do to keep the peace.
Yeah, and so we find out that Kitasaki kind of moved into town, kind of like in the middle of the year, kind of a weird thing for them to move into town. Like, why did you move in? And she was all like
Yeah,
weird about it. She was like, "Don't worry about, you don't
yeah,
need to
because he
know about
asked her
my
about
life,
her life
like get."
earlier too, and she's like, you don't need to know that. Like she was very like private. in that
Yeah,
manner.
I mean, but we get hints of how like
Yeah.
she's gangster, like a little bit. Like now that we know, we find out. Like he pulls back the curtain and he's like, she's also having this conversation. Looks over and she's like,
Yeah, they
"This
look
is the
over like,
guy."
wait, this
Like
guy.
me and him,
Oh, dude,
no
greatest
way. Like
reveal ever,
now they
man.
have to pretend. It's super, super awesome. Like you find out that she's a gangster, and it all makes sense. If you flash back, she's in like she does
Yeah.
that flying knee towards his face. She smells
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gunpowder.
that's the
That's
smell
the
you
smell
remember
that
was
he's
gunpowder.
like.
He's like, it's gunpowder. That's what it
That's
was.
I like. Yeah, if that doesn't say gangster,
Yeah,
like what is that beautiful perfume you're
it's
smelling? Oh,
gunpowder.
that's a gun smoke. She's straight up.
Oh, and even earlier too, because
If
like
it,
earlier there's a scene where they're like in
red
outside
flag,
for gym and stuff, and she's like doing these most like
yo, dude.
acrobatic Olympic things again, and he's over there with his friend Shu talking about
She's
her, and he like calling her gorilla, and then out of nowhere you see this metal tin, 10 gallon tin just flying out of nowhere, and he's all like, "What are you doing? Like you're
yeah,
crazy!" And she comes running over, holding another one over her head, and it's like reminiscent.
yeah.
It's funny that he calls her a gorilla girl and a monkey girl because that's a reminiscent
Uh-huh.
of the old Donkey Kong game.
Oh yeah, dude. I didn't even catch that. She's like doing straight up gymnastics on that like
Oh yeah,
high bar,
no talk,
no chalk, doing,
no,
no crash
flawless
pad
man,
on
flawless.
concrete. Yeah, flawless. I was like, "Oh, dude, she is like I mean, she's probably closer to what did you say the other
The
gang was?
Beehive
What is
Gang, the
it
gang
that she's
her
part of?
family is Beehive. Yeah,
Beehive. Okay, and they're part of the
I think they're like
Yakuza,
an
I
American
guess.
gang because they came from America.
Okay. No, I'm saying like
Oh, Raku's, yeah,
who is
they're Yakuza.
Raku
Yeah,
with? Yakuza, okay. And so like yeah, you just kind of like, "Oh, this makes sense. She's kind of rough around the edges. She's kind of like
like
gangster. She's
she
kind of,
actually gonna take
she
over her
smells like
family
gun
business.
smoke." I mean, I don't blame Raku. Like, yeah, she's actually gonna do it. There's red flags, okay? If your girl smells like gun smoke,
And she's
run,
got a red
bro.
ribbon in her hair. I
Like,
don't know if that's a red flag. Like it's right there.
yeah, literal red flag. A little, yeah, it sets up for a lot to go on. Like, okay, well, he's gonna still love this girl, Onodera, and like he's gonna try to make that happen because he doesn't like Kirisaki, or will he come to find out that Kirisaki is actually kind of cool, and then he ends up loving her too?
Well, even so,
What in
like
the
even with
world
that, like
is
there's
gonna
a moment
happen,
too
Joe and
before
Joe?
that, like they're sitting in class, which is this is a scene I love when they're in class, the way they did it because it's just on Chitoge, it's her colorized, but like everybody else around her in the background, they kind of put like that, like how you put your camera in negative mode, like they're in that coloring,
Yeah, they're
and
muted
like
a
you
little
see
bit.
Raku, he's on the
Hmm.
side, but he's looking at her. And then after class, like he walks up to her with notes. He's like, "Hey, here's the notes from the Japanese writing lesson because I know
Hmm.
you couldn't keep up with the notes. So here, I took notes for you." And that's like, it's like a little like
Hmm.
almost like in kind of inward. Oh, he's not really that bad. Like he doesn't dislike her as much as
Yeah,
he outwardly says because he cared enough to write
yeah.
notes for her so that she wouldn't fall behind.
Yeah, and you even see it with him and his other friend too. They're kind of like they're I think they're in gym and they're
Yeah.
kind of watching her move around, and he's like, "Hey, that Kitasaki is she's not a bad looker, right?" And he's kind of like, "Yeah, I guess, like
Yeah, classic guy. I
classically, I
guess
don't know, like." And then,
whatever.
but then the more he looks at her, he's kind of like,
Maybe.
well, I mean, she's got main
Oh yeah,
character energy. You know what I'm saying? She's got that red
she got those
hair,
main character vibes, man.
like. Yeah, because she got main character, but she's like she can climb a rope like nobody's business,
Donkey Kong
Donkey Kong
style.
style,
Oh, but yeah, man. Like, and then we get the ending credit and stuff like that, to where he's just like reminiscing. He's like, my high school, like my life just got so unnormal, and we get our outro song and credits, which I love the songs too. I love the music they use for this.
Yeah, the music is good on this too. It's but it is very. I think I wrote down this is like a little bit more typical what I would think of like when I
Yeah,
think of anime. This is what I kind of think of, but like kind of straight, a little bit not straight, but like straight down the middle a little bit. Like the music is kind of like DDR straight up like
yeah,
pop,
like
but it's
fun little
fun though.
kind of
Like it's
pop
like this is
vibe to it. Yeah.
yeah, pop vibes. Yeah, pop vibes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh man.
Loved it.
Well, like we said, this is a shonen demographic, so of course it's not really shoujo, but
Does it have a?
it has a manga. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does, right? And it's like, I mean, how many seasons of this? It's not. I mean, it doesn't
There's
seem like there was a
Nah,
lot when
nah.
I was
So
looking.
getting into the background, getting into the facts. So the manga was originally created by Naoshi Komi, and this that sounds
That
familiar.
sounds familiar.
It's not Komi from Komi Kid
It does,
Communicate.
doesn't it?
Not her, man.
Dang it! Nah, she
You
didn't
go
go
right
on to
at me.
write anime.
No, but
Ah,
this
shoot.
one
Anyway,
also started out as a one shot as well, as we covered in our last episode. Most of them started as one shot. This one started as a one shot as well.
how many does that? Does I mean, there's so much anime. I guess a lot of them are kind of that way, a little bit, right?
A
They're
lot of
just
them
trying to
too, yeah.
like.
Like with like the upcoming manga artists, stuff like that. Like I said, there's contests that they can enter. They try and get their stuff out there. Some of them just go straight to like the editors, straight to the magazines and stuff to get their stuff published. But they do,
Hmm.
like I said, this one's a one shot. It was the one shot got published in Shueisha's seasonal Jump Next in January of 2011,
Hmm.
and then it did well enough to get picked up by Weekly Shonen Jump, which is a prominent manga magazine, and that started serialization in November of 2011 and ran all the way till August of 2016. So the manga is finished,
2016.
done. Yeah.
Done.
So with the
Over.
anime, there's only two seasons.
You've read some of this?
Yeah.
Really?
So the first season it started in January of 2014. First season ran and then went all the way to May of 2014. And then the second season came out in April of 2015 and ran all the way till June of 2015. So two seasons covered the whole manga story.
If you were to watch this
Yeah,
anime, you're gonna
complete
get all
all
of
of
it
it.
then. It's not. Wow. I mean, I don't know. Huh. That just doesn't. That sounds wild to me. Like for me, as so far as we've been watching these animes and
Yeah,
we've talked about all the manga and how much they cover, it seems like they would want to write this
yeah.
forever, but they just kind of like they wrote it, got it
Yeah.
done, shot it. I mean, animated it, and then boom, we're like we did the whole thing. Like that, right? Is that kind of weird or does that happen often? I mean, I don't know if
With
we've
manga
covered
and
anything like
stuff,
that.
sometimes they have a
Hmm.
set story. They have a beginning and an ending, and however long it takes to
Yeah.
get to it, they're done. This one, so it got a reprint in June
Hmm.
of 2023. So they did like a reprint, and basically, it's still the same story. They kind of changed the covers for the manga books, but they
Hmm.
also with that there was also a novel too that came out, that was published of it called Nisekoi Urbana. That was kind of like three books
Hmm.
that kind of like had some other stories, like short stories and stuff like that. Kind of like not really pertaining to like the story. There were some where I think it said there is like Onodera was like a magical girl, and like Kirisaki, I think Chikitoge was like got turned into a cat or something. They're just like kind of like fun stories here and there. But then also
Oh
in
my
that
gosh.
reprint, they also did like an epilogue, which was set 10 years after the ending of the story. So you kind of get like a little 10 years later type of thing, kind of like in
Interesting.
Deathly Hallows Part Two. At the ending, you got the epilogue of them growing up,
Yeah.
sending their kids off to Hogwarts and stuff like that. So something to do with that,
Oh
what
wow.
happened, after the end of the main story. Well, like the anime and stuff,
Have
the
you
anime
watched
is
all
pretty
this?
much covered the main story of it within the two seasons. Yeah,
Have you
I
watched
watched.
it all?
Yeah, I watched it all. I read it all.
Are you watched it?
Like this one also
Oh,
another plugin, second plugin for Viz Manga app. This is also on there. So guys, if you
uh-huh.
really want to get into manga, if you really want to like start reading actual stories that the anime came out of, go download the Viz Manga set. Description is really good, really well priced, and then you can just read all the manga you want. Man, it's really good.
All right, Joe Angel, a big question here. Does it
It
have
has
pictures?
pictures.
I'm
So,
sold. Easy.
but so it does read. Let's see, right to left.
Dude, okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
just about to ask that because, like I had heard, I've never really seen them. I'm still even, I have other questions about this because I forget, I was at this place. I think it's called
A
a bookstore.
bookstore.
Yeah, and they had an anime in there, and I opened up the anime and I started looking. I was like, oh, you know what? Remember talking to somebody else, and they were like, oh yeah, it reads the other way. And I just thought that was like, what is that a? Because that's not really. it's not like a cultural. I mean, it is a cultural thing because they
Yeah,
that's how they do it there, but they don't technically do it there like that.
I
You know what I'm saying?
think
Like
that's how
if they
all
were
the books are, like even like novels and stuff.
like
Because
all of
even like
okay.
going back to our last episode with Comey Can't Communicate, when they were writing on the chalkboard, I
Hmm.
don't know if you noticed, but they were writing vertically instead of horizontally. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
did
just
notice that.
so
I
culturalized. That's how they write. That's
that's
how like all the stuff's read, I think. But
and
I
then
know as far as like manga goes, I know that's how they read over there. It's right to left instead of left to right.
it's just
So if you pick up a manga book, make sure you read
that
it right to left. Because if you read it left to right, you're going to be starting at the end of the story and work. You're going to be Quentin Tarantino and yourself. You're going to start at the end and go to
spoilers.
the beginning,
Yeah, I hope is there are they do they write? I mean,
which
yeah,
I
like
think
right on
is.
the
I wonder if this is how Quentin Tarantino got his got his style of doing it. He opened up a
you
manga. It
know.
was all like read it the wrong way. He was like, "Oh, this is a cool way to tell the story. I'm gonna start doing this."
Uh, I got an idea for
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I wonder. He does know his anime. I don't know if you watched
Oh
Kill Bill, but
yeah.
he's got some anime kind of
Quality.
qualities in that. So, yeah, probably. Also, the magazine. We've mentioned this before, and I kind of like you say things, and I go, yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You could ask me anything, Joe, and you could ask me like, hey, yeah,
Yeah,
you
sure,
get
sure.
this,
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, sure, I got this, and then I walk away, and then I'll have to ask you 4 or 5
yeah. Hey,
times. I
where's
didn't
this
get that,
at?
Joe Angel. I'm the guy that opens. I make my soup. I take the soup, put it into the bowl, throw the instructions away,
They
and
had to
then
go
come
dig
back to
into
the
the trash to
instructions and
find
go,
it.
what was
What
that
was I
again?
supposed to
Uh,
do?
yeah, and then I'm like, all right, I got it. And then I'm like, no, I should just take these out of the trash. I keep coming back
Just
to the
take a pic
trash.
before you throw it away. Take
That's
a
me.
picture of it so you just have it on your phone.
Take a picture all the time. It's just picture
Yeah.
instructions on how to cook something because I keep throwing it
Uh,
away. But I'm wondering this like magazine thing because you've said this a couple times. Like this started
yeah.
getting published in a magazine. Is this like so? What does this magazine look like? What does a
So
magazine that like is published by like a big production company look
and
like?
so we'll start with Weekly Shonen Jump since that's a big manga magazine. So what it is,
Mm-hmm.
so Weekly Shonen Jump has certain stories. So it has like One Piece. It has Dragon Ball. It'll have
Mm-hmm.
Bleach. Like it'll have a certain amount of
Eh,
chapters because each manga comes
mm-hmm.
out. They do it kind of on a weekly basis, so you get one chapter a week. So they have their set manga series that they
Okay.
have, and each author and creator has like almost like a week to prepare, do their whole manga to get their chapter ready, and it's just like a compilation of like single chapters from different mangas. But they also have like they'll have interviews, they'll have like
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is an anime coming out. They'll have like little segments, so it'll be kind of like a news articles with actual like manga
Mm-hmm.
chapters. So you can read your manga. You can also like look at interviews that they've done, or hey, they'll have news of hey, be on the lookout for this. And sometimes they'll have like special editions. Sometimes they'll come out with like they'll have like stickers or stuff like that, or have like contests. And this is where they'll have like hey, be on the lookout, read this magazine. We're going to do a one shot contest. Go pick your favorite one. Let us know. That way we can like see who comes out on top with the one shot, and maybe they'll get serialized. Or they'll have sometimes they'll just be like
Hmm.
there's certain mangas that will come out that are just like a short story. Like there was one I remember reading in Shonen Jump called Stealth Symphony. It was just like a short little one shot
Mm-hmm.
story, and like that one, oh man, I love that one. Like I really hope that one like would get animated at some point because that was a really good story. But sometimes there's just like even so because there's another manga I read. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, what was the story? Kana, Knan. That
Uh-huh.
one was only 4 volumes long before it ended, and that was because the writer and the author, the illustrator. So the writer, that one was a writer and an illustrator kind
Uh-huh.
of duo. The illustrator I think lived in Japan,
Yeah.
and the writer lived I think here in America or in Europe. So it would take a while for them to like
Mm-hmm.
communicate, get stuff across. So that one kind of ended early. They
Uh-huh.
ended it themselves because it was just too much for them to like try and structure
Just
and
like
trying to
every
be
other
on time. Yeah.
long
And
distance
so sometimes
relationship.
it'll be stuff like that to where there's like time they just can't keep up with the time and the process, so sometimes they'll just cut it off, or something would happen. But yeah, usually it'll be stuff like that. So
So
the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, they also have an app too. You could go and download. Yeah.
I was just about to ask you. I was like, dude, you're about to tell me that. Are you telling me that print is alive and well in Japan? Because I'll tell you this much: there's not a lot of magazines have shut,
Oh yeah, like if you
everything
look
down. I
up
mean,
like
newspapers aren't
you
a
can
thing
go look up
anymore.
Japan and Tokyo and like Shinjuku, like there's a lot of stores that still sell like
Hmm.
paperback books, paperback the mangas, like the physical copies and like
Hmm.
physical magazines and stuff that like
Yeah.
that's still like real prominent over there.
Yeah. Okay. So, but now though, like, I mean, so
Yeah,
there's got to
yeah,
be a
there's
digital
like those
version
versions. Like I
of
said,
this. No?
you can get the Viz app, the Viz manga app, or like I said, Weekly Shonen Jump also has their
Hmm.
own app to where you can get them digitally, and you have it on your phone or your iPad, whatever, whichever you use. Get the apps, download it, and then you can read your manga and stuff there.
Oh man, how do I get that smell? Do they have like a candle that I can light that smells like
They'll send you a gunpowder scented candle, so you can smell while
I
reading
want that gun.
this.
I want that gun smoke.
Good
Yo,
smell.
gun smoke by Kirasaki. Somebody make this
Yeah.
it's got to exist. That
Yeah, but going
perfume's
back
got
to
to
like your earlier
exist.
question about not being able to find a dub version because there hasn't been a dub
Hmm.
version yet. Like for something that's kind of
Man,
like,
that's wild. Because I
yeah,
mean,
this
this
one was like it has a
it's so
popularity among
old.
its fans,
Not old.
but it just hasn't gotten the English
Yeah.
dub yet.
Yeah, I was wondering if this was how well received this was or how well it's done. I mean, the fact that it's kind of
Yeah,
it's shorter and they wrapped the whole thing up. It seems like I don't know. I mean, I go back and forth on it because I think like you think if you have a lot of
yeah,
material, source material, people enjoy it and they continue to want more of it and that's going to do really
yeah. It's kind
well.
of funny that it doesn't have
I
one
don't know.
because this also has like a
Uh-huh.
game too that came out on the PS Vita, like a not like kind of like how Oron
P-
had the visual
PS
game.
Vita.
It kind of has a game like that.
Yeah.
Chitoge, like she comes out. There's a game called J Star's Victory Versus, which was like a kind of like Marvel Capcom S style game that Chitoge featured
Uh-huh.
on. She's a character on, and
What?
this also has a live
Wha-
action
th-
too that came out. So it's really weird it doesn't have an English dub.
yeah, with all this, what in the world is the? I mean, I could definitely see
You
this as a
can.
live
You can go
action
watch
right
it on
away.
YouTube.
Like it, yeah. Is it one of those like machinima
No,
ones
this
where they
one the
just kind of
projected
like
value is pretty good
will
on
get
it. The
it's leg-
story does kind of change because it's a movie. It's not a show. Some of it's kind
um,
of same source material, but when you get kind of
hmm.
halfway, kind of towards the end, it kind of like still kind of like deviates a little bit. Yeah,
I
yeah,
like the concept. I mean, it's an interesting, it's a fun little like the way you said it. I didn't think about it earlier, but how it's like kind of Shakespearean and a little bit.
yeah,
This love triangle. That they don't like each other, but maybe there's something there, maybe
yeah,
like down the line. But then he's in love with somebody else. I mean, it all tracks very kind of like familiar, but yet it's got a
yeah.
little new twist on it. With the whole like gang thing and stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of it's funny and like that is interesting that it's doesn't have a
Yeah.
sub it doesn't have a dub version. I'd like for it would have been I think I would
Yeah.
have enjoyed it even
Yeah,
more.
there's people like there's fans out there who like kind of pick their dub actors who they think would play. Like you can go like on Reddit or
Mhm.
threads and stuff like that and figure out who people casted and like who would play Raku, who would play Chitoge, who would play Onodeta, like who they would pick
Mhm.
for the English cast and stuff like that. But maybe I don't know, maybe one day it'll get English dub.
Dude,
Hey,
hey,
we
maybe
could
I'll
do
do it, Joey. I could
it.
do that,
We could do
bro.
it. We could
Come
do it, man.
on, man. Yeah, feed me some lines. Look, we're already, I could get Chat GPT to like give me some
We'll just have
other
somebody
voice
write down the
actors.
subtitles and
I'll
we'll
just
go and
read
dub
them.
them over.
I could do this, dude. Like, we have the technology. I've already said this, Joey
We
Joe.
have the
We have the
technology.
technology.
All right. Well, we're getting really in the game on this one. But
Oh my gosh, this
Sal,
is way too long.
how many gunpowder candles are you buying on this one?
Oh man, that I do love the smell of gun smoke, by the way. So I mean, I could see how he was kind of like attracted to it. Like, that smells
Yeah.
nice, I think. Or dangerous. I like this show. I like this show, but coming hot off of Comey Can't Communicate, man, it was tough. It's tough. I wonder if I would have watched this one
Before, yeah.
before that one. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, dude, that one was white hot. And this one was good. This one was good. It was fun. So, let's see here. 1 out of 5. 5 being like the best. I'm gonna give this 3. 3. I really did enjoy this. And maybe even a little bit more just because I think I can, because the fact that it's like I can watch the whole show and feel some sort of like resolution, which I haven't had for some of the other animes because they're just like so long that I was like, man, if I and then some of the other ones like either like didn't finish, like they don't resolve, because they just like
Yeah.
stopped making the seasons or like they finished an arc and they just like didn't keep going with it. Like this, I don't know. And now that I'm talking myself into it a little bit, maybe I could actually like give this like maybe 4 stars or four
Gunsmoke
gun
Candle.
smoke candles. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it 3 gun smoke
I
candles.
think you get your wife on
I
this
thought
one
it was
too
super
with the
fun,
Shakespearean
funny.
little aspect of it.
Give me a dub version, Jojo. You and I are gonna go back. Give me your best girl voice. Can you give me a girl voice? tell me, tell me you love me as a girl. I need, I need to hear, I need to hear you read some lines, and then we can do this.
Uh,
Uh,
All right. Well,
yes,
there you have it,
sir.
guys. We have come to the end of our episode. Once again, thank you for joining us. And as always, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Meepod, where we post clips and little hints on what we do next as far as our episodes goes. And you can also leave a comment too. Let us know what you think about the episodes. Let us know what we say. If anything we say we got wrong, let us know how to say these names. Give us, and
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
you can give us ideas
Yep.
too on
Oh,
what animes you want us to watch. And if there's something that new that came out that you want us to look at and get a hold of, let us know in those comments. You can follow us on Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud. Follow us on there. And guys, get your guacamole Takis and watch this show because this one's a really good show to watch.
yeah. Get
Get
ready to
ready,
eat
get
a
a
whole
whole
bag,
bag
dude.
because
Because you're gonna watch the whole like back to back
get two
episodes.
bags. This is a
Telling you.
2 bag
Yeah, one for the first
for
season
seconds.
and then the other one for the second
All right,
season.
guys. We'll see you on the next one. Sayonara.
Peace.